Hello everyone, and welcome to Exploring a Call of Duty multiplayer map. This time we're going to be taking a look at a DLC map in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. The map we're going to be looking at today is the DLC map Rise. Now, for some reason, it was very interesting. I was actually having a dream last night, and I was dreaming about this map specifically. I remembered that there was a dark and gloomy nighttime map set in Black Ops 3, and that there was underwater sections on the map. And I for the life of me, could not remember which game that this map was in. It's not a very memorable map, but apparently it was memorable enough to stick in my subconscious because I literally had a dream about walking around on this map. So I thought, you know what? If that's a premonition of anything, I might as well hop on to this map and see what it's all about and just go around and explore and take a look at the map Rise. So here we are on the Black Ops 3 map Rise. And obviously it's called Rise because of this tower right here. And the whole map is basically a construction site in the Zurich Mountains, which is very closely connected to the Black Ops 3 campaign. And if there's one thing about this map that I distinctively remember, besides the interesting lighting on this map and how some areas are very dark, is that there is some swimming areas, if I remember correctly, and also that this is one of the big maps in Black Ops 3. Now, I do not know the obsession with large maps and DLC packs, but Black Ops 3 had an abundance of these sort of larger sized maps. And you'd think in a game where everything's about boost jumping and flying all around that it would play well, but I don't recall this map playing all that well. So as we take a look over here, we see that the entire map, even the outsides, is very based in the construction style of multiple facilities, all being built around in this mountainous range here. We see the futuristic porta potties here. We see that there is a lot of construction equipment all around, and you can jump up here. Yes, you can. There's many different areas you can jump up to. I wonder if you can even get out of bounds here. No, there's an invisible wall there. So, obviously, Black Ops 3 is very known for its movement, along with the wall running as well. And yeah, so let's take a look all around here. Little areas you can jump into, another tube to hide in case someone's trying to spawn trap. You can get a nice look around here. I do remember that the outsides of the map get barely used at all when it comes to these larger scale maps. Most of the fighting takes place in the center. But let's go around the ring of the map and then we'll take a look at the inside here. See, this is one of those maps that just kind of fell into the pack, but again, for some reason, I had a weird dream about walking around on this map. So maybe it left more of an impression than I thought. I didn't even remember the name of this map until I hopped on the game here. So if we take a look over here, we have lots of vehicles, and I remember this side of the map over here is where a lot of the more darker color palette is. Obviously, the sunlight is shining on the other side of the map, and the building and the structure is covering up a lot of this side here. We have a classic 3-lane map structure that Treyarch is very well known for, but the center of the map is very interesting because despite it being 3 lanes, one on this side, one on the other side, and then one down the middle, it's a little bit more complicated than that. So obviously here we have another jump spot. We have lots of areas back here. Now I remember distinctively that this area all back here in this side of the team spawn, nobody ever came back over here. You jump in this little bucket right here. And I guess this is good for calling in kill streaks or whatnot if you want to control something. But a majority of the people who play Black Ops 3 are going to be using streaks that you don't have to control. And again, a lot of the fighting takes place in the center of the map, and basically this area kind of goes unused. But again, we have interesting circular structures here. Silo construction, and again it's that classic Treyarch circular building design that creates some interesting gunfights. So Let's take a look over here into the security section. We have a lot of coalescence stuff here, which is again connected to the Black Ops 3 campaign. If anyone remembers that interesting little story there. Lots and lots of construction going on here, which is very similar to the turbine map that I was looking at in Black Ops 2. You have a lot of interesting stuff here, and here is the memorable part of this map that I distinctively remember having premonitions about. There is water sections in Black Ops 3. People tend to forget this, and water has not been used very often in Call of Duty. There is a few maps in COD Ghosts and Advanced Warfare that use water as sort of a hazard that occurs onto certain maps, and even Black Ops 2, there is an area that can get flooded on a certain DLC map, but you can never go in the water without dying. But of course, in Black Ops 3, they introduced the swimming mechanic. And as we can see here, there's sort of an underground, multiple layers going on here. Now, if this was a classic Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 map, this sort of two-lane, one on top of another, this would be sort of a raised-up building, and then this would be the standard path that you take. But again, the water dynamic, it definitely adds some character to the Black Ops 3 maps, and it gives some interesting variety to some of the level design. And of course, with this water mechanic that we see in most modern Call of Duty games, there's hidden paths that you can take that lead underneath structures, and it's a lot more interesting than just running in an underground basement or something like that. And of course, it leads back in to the other side of the spawn. And obviously what the water can do, it can provide some interesting cover for certain gunfights, and because I mean, imagine how open this area would be and how exposed you'd be if you were running through here naturally. The water definitely does provide a lot of cover. And of course we got back over here, and here we are back on the other spawn. So now let's take a look in the center of the map, and this is where I remember 99% of all the action taking place. Sort of these outskirts around the ring here, no fighting really goes on in there. This here, the center building right here, is where most of the action takes place. And the sort of two windows adjacent from each other that sort of overlook the center with symmetrical style rooms. It's very similar to a lot of Treyarch maps. You see this kind of style replicated in Nuketown, Combine, and even some maps in Black Ops 4, which will be the next game that Treyarch would make. So obviously, the three-lane map structure, you have these sort of center building that sort of overlook each other and gives a sort of overlook on the center, which is where the majority of the fighting would take place. And of course, we have over here one of the cut-through paths from the side here. Instead of taking the water route, we of course have this sort of little overlook here. Of course, you would be exposed from not only that window, but from anyone who would be camping here and trying to get a beat on anyone that was coming out of the spawn. Now, this is all very interesting, but Treyarch is known for having three lanes, and they're also known for having little paths that connect the lanes. And the interesting thing is that this center area here, where these two windows converge, you have this lab garage here, and this cuts through the entirety, the middle of the map, and you now have access to this sort of little garage area that is the lower platform of an area that we came through before. So the structure of the map is very sound, I think, and the coloring of the map and sort of the lighting of the map, it makes it feel very cold and very dark, despite it being sort of in a sunset setting. And again, the map is very visually interesting, but I think that what drags the map down is the size of the map, because you have these all these pillars back here and sort of all this unused area that kind of gets a little forgotten. And I remember distinctively about the center of the map and the sort of water pool that you could use to get underneath one of the different paths. Of course, we have here is the path that leads into this side of the map, which is encouraging of the wall running mechanic. So again, the map is very mechanically sound. I just think that the map could have benefited a lot more from a sort of downsizing and sort of a smaller scale. But yeah, no, that is the Black Ops 3 DLC map Rise. If you had any interesting memories on playing this map, be sure to comment down below, because for some reason this map sort of popped into my head as one of those many large-sized DLC maps from COD history, and I just thought it would be interesting to take a look on this map and just sort of reminisce about it. So if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and comment down below of other multiplayer maps that I should take a look at.